Welcome to AI Briefing. The content of the briefing includes how Microsoft's reliance on OpenAI became a threat. The OpenAI SOAP shows the need for Europe-based AI alternatives. Why banks are desperate to get into private credit. Can you trust a robot with your holiday shopping? First FT, Israel-Hamas truce and hostage deal to start Friday, says Qatar. How Microsoft's reliance on OpenAI became a threat. Financial Times. Microsoft's partnership with OpenAI has given the software company an advantage in the generative AI market. However, the recent sacking and reinstatement of OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has revealed the vulnerability in Microsoft's AI strategy. Customers may hesitate to invest in Microsoft's generative AI services, questioning whether the hype is worth it. Microsoft has only recently started to sell its generative AI services, and the debacle at OpenAI has interrupted this momentum. Although the crisis was handled well by Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, it has brought an end to the partnership's halo effect, which has been beneficial for both companies. The recent problems have also highlighted flaws in OpenAI's governance arrangements, and Microsoft has become less dependent on OpenAI by offering models from other companies. As the market for generative AI evolves, Microsoft's business dependence on OpenAI is fading. Microsoft Research is well placed to develop the next generation of small language models, reducing its dependence on OpenAI in the future. The OpenAI SOAP shows the need for Europe-based AI alternatives. Financial Times. French billionaire Xavier Niel has launched QTI, a nonprofit research lab focused on developing large language models in the style of OpenAI. Niel's aim is to create an open platform, making research accessible for commercial purposes, with transparency extending to the source code of the models. The project, which has backing from billionaire Rodolphe Sada and former Google chief Eric Schmidt, will help Europe to influence and profit from generative AI, with Niel saying, "I don't want our children to depend on algorithms that are not made here." Why banks are desperate to get into private credit. Financial Times. U.S. banks are looking to crack into the $1.5 trillion private credit boom, despite the trend's roots in debanking. Citigroup is the latest to join the likes of Barclays, Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan Chase, Rabobank, Société Générale and Wells Fargo in embracing the trend. However, private credit is not analogous to traditional commercial banking, and for now, it is seen as a rival to traditional leveraged finance, such as high-yield bonds and leveraged loans. Nonetheless, the sector's biggest players have far bigger ambitions, with Apollo Global Management's Mark Rowan predicting private credit will be talking about this for the next 10 years. Citigroup's entry into private credit has raised eyebrows, with one commentator describing it as Citi blowing itself up on the Wall Street fad of the moment. Can you trust a robot with your holiday shopping? Wall Street Journal. Around a third of people are planning to use AI to help them with holiday shopping this year, according to a survey by Adobe. However, popular AI chatbots such as Bard, Bing Chat and Shopify fall short when it comes to keeping up with the latest deals and may give inaccurate information. The report recommends checking retailers' websites for pricing and other details. First FT, Israel-Hamas truce and hostage deal to start Friday, says Qatar. Financial Times. Israel and Hamas have agreed to a temporary ceasefire and the release of hostages. The ceasefire will start on Friday at 7 a.m. local time, while the first hostages will be released at 4 p.m. local time. The deal was struck after Hamas agreed to free 50 hostages held in Gaza in exchange for a 4-day truce and the release of 150 Palestinian prisoners from Israeli jails. Nurture Hong Kong's ethnic minorities to help solve talent shortage. South China Morning Post. The Hong Kong government must not overlook the city's ethnic minorities in its efforts to attract talent and address brain drain and low birth rates. Ethnic minority groups are an integral part of Hong Kong's population and can contribute to the labor force, poverty alleviation, and the development of a more inclusive society. Empowering ethnic minority individuals through education, career opportunities, and business networks can help break the cycle of poverty and create a diverse, equitable, and prosperous Hong Kong. The government should also provide more support and representation for ethnic minorities in leadership and decision-making roles. 49ers McCaffrey draws perfect robot label after in-game helmet repair. Yahoo! During the San Francisco 49ers game against the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday Night Football, footage was captured of Christian McCaffrey having work done on his helmet on the sideline. This led to jokes and memes online, with many comparing McCaffrey to a robot or cyborg. McCaffrey had a strong performance in the game, scoring 2 touchdowns and contributing both rushing and receiving yards. The 49ers went on to win the game with a 24-3 lead at halftime. Some OpenAI engineers make as much as $800,000 and were key players in Sam Altman's return. Yahoo! OpenAI employees who threatened to quit over the firing of CEO Sam Altman earn up to $800,000 per year, Bloomberg has claimed. Engineers who focus on AI earn 8% to 12.5% more than other engineers, according to compensation data platform levels. FYI. Some OpenAI engineering roles pay between $200,000 and $370,000, with specialist positions offering up to $450,000. Bloomberg noted that these figures do not include bonuses or stock awards, which can bring total compensation to $800,000. 7 attractive dividend-paying stocks that are capitalizing on AI. The Globe and Mail. Investors looking to capitalize on the growth of artificial intelligence, AI, should consider investing in companies that are already applying AI profitably, according to TSI Network. The firm used its TSI Dividend Sustainability Rating System to identify 7 US and Canadian companies that have solid business bases and are already capitalizing on AI. The companies include Microsoft, Nvidia, Intel, and Accenture. The fight for the soul of AI. New York Times. The recent events at OpenAI, including the firing and rehiring of CEO Sam Altman, raise questions about whether the organization's unique combination of a nonprofit board overseeing a for-profit company can be sustained. OpenAI was established as a nonprofit research lab to avoid the influence of profit motives in the development of artificial intelligence, AI. However, as the field has become more commercialized, OpenAI has had to balance the desire for scientific discovery, product development, and safety. The article highlights the conflicting views within the AI community about the potential of the technology, with some arguing it will vastly improve the world while others warn of potential dangers. OpenAI has sought to maintain a culture centered on its mission of developing artificial general intelligence, but there are concerns about whether this can be sustained as the company grows. The article concludes that the future of OpenAI and its ability to navigate these tensions remains uncertain. OpenAI has just fused its corporate kill switch. Financial Times. OpenAI's recent governance turmoil highlights the challenges of overseeing the safe development of AI within a for-profit commercial business. The board, which was tasked with ensuring AI benefits humanity, fired CEO Sam Altman for misleading them, only to reinstate him days later following protests. While some argue that a traditional fiduciary board would be better suited to the role, others believe it is important to hold AI companies accountable for the potential risks of their technology. The tensions between commercial drive and concerns about collateral damage must be addressed to ensure safe AI development. I may be middle class, but I'm starting to feel the pinch. The Sydney Morning Herald. The author of this article reflects on her changing financial circumstances and the impact it has had on her middle-class lifestyle. She discusses her struggle to make ends meet, the sacrifices she has had to make, and the fear of falling into the shrinking middle class. Despite her privilege, she acknowledges that financial stress is not exclusive to lower-income earners. What does Sam Altman's return to OpenAI mean? Deutsche Welle. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has been reinstated just days after being ousted from the artificial intelligence (AI) company. Altman's sacking prompted speculation of a split between the company and its former leader over the dangers of AI. OpenAI is known for its ChatGPT chatbot and large language models and is also researching artificial general intelligence. Altman's return could impact the debate over AI regulation, with the US and EU continuing to develop their own frameworks. Microsoft, which owns 49% of OpenAI, had offered Altman a job. Letters. How can a conservative government have so little grip on migration? Telegraph. Readers of The Telegraph have expressed their concern over the UK's immigration figures, which reached 745,000 in the year to December 2022. Many readers question whether the high immigration numbers are a result of deliberate government policy or sheer incompetence, and believe that the Conservative Party will suffer at the next election as a result. Readers also raised concerns about illegal immigration and the ability of the government to control the country's borders. The issue of immigration is likely to be a key topic in the upcoming general election campaign. Meanwhile, readers also raised concerns about the complexity of the UK tax system and the impact on hardworking middle earners, who are increasingly being required to pay more in tax. Some readers called for a fixed tax regime where everyone pays the same rate of tax on income, savings, purchases, and investments. Others criticized the government for failing to address the issue of illegal immigration, arguing that it is impossible to tackle the problem whilst the UK remains subject to the European Convention on Human Rights. EU mulls wider scope for cybersecurity certification scheme, paper. Yahoo! The European Union, EU, has expanded its proposed cybersecurity labeling rules that could impact big tech companies, banks, and airlines. The EU's Agency for Cybersecurity, ENISA, is proposing an EU certification scheme to guarantee the cybersecurity of cloud services and guide governments and businesses in the bloc when selecting a vendor. The draft retains provisions that US tech giants must form joint ventures with EU firms to qualify for the EU cybersecurity label, while cloud services would need to be operated and stored from within the EU. The proposals are being reviewed by EU member states. That's all for today's news updates. We covered a range of topics, from Microsoft's reliance on OpenAI to the need for Europe-based AI alternatives, and from the growth of private credit to the use of AI in holiday shopping. Let's dive into some analysis. Starting with Microsoft's reliance on OpenAI, the recent debacle at OpenAI has exposed the vulnerability in Microsoft's AI strategy. While the partnership gave Microsoft an advantage in the generative AI market, the crisis has interrupted the momentum they had built. Customers may now question whether the hype around Microsoft's generative AI services is worth it. Additionally, Microsoft's move to offer models from other companies shows that they are becoming less dependent on OpenAI. As the market for generative AI evolves, Microsoft's business dependence on OpenAI is fading. On the other hand, French billionaire Xavier Niel's launch of Qtai, a non-profit research lab focused on developing large language models, highlights the need for Europe-based AI alternatives. Niel aims to create an open platform that allows research to be accessible for commercial purposes, with transparency extending to the source code. This project not only gives Europe the opportunity to influence and profit from generative AI but also ensures that the algorithms used are made in Europe, reducing dependence on algorithms developed elsewhere. Moving on to the financial sector, US banks are desperate to get into the private credit market, despite its roots in debanking. Private credit is seen as a rival to traditional leveraged finance, and the sector's biggest players have ambitious goals for its future. Citigroup's entry into private credit has raised eyebrows, with some commentators describing it as jumping on the Wall Street fad of the moment. It remains to be seen how successful these banks will be in cracking into the private credit boom. Shifting gears to holiday shopping, a survey by Adobe reveals that around a third of people plan to use AI to help them with their holiday shopping. However, popular AI chatbots may fall short when it comes to keeping up with the latest deals and may provide inaccurate information. So, it's still recommended to check retailers' websites for pricing and details. As AI continues to advance, we can expect improvement in these chatbots' capabilities, making them more reliable shopping assistants. In international news, Israel and Hamas have agreed to a temporary ceasefire and the release of hostages. This is a positive development in the ongoing conflict between the two parties, and hopefully, it will lead to a lasting peace in the region. Turning our attention to Hong Kong, the government must not overlook the city's ethnic minorities in its efforts to address talent shortage and brain drain. Ethnic minority groups can contribute significantly to the labor force and the development of a more inclusive society. Empowering them through education, career opportunities, and business networks can help break the cycle of poverty and create a diverse and prosperous Hong Kong. Now, let's shift our focus to something lighter. During a recent NFL game, footage of Christian McCaffrey having work done on his helmet led to jokes and memes online, with many comparing him to a robot or cyborg. Despite the humorous comparison, McCaffrey had a strong performance in the game, contributing to the San Francisco 49ers victory. Moving on to OpenAI, it has been revealed that some OpenAI engineers earn as much as $800,000 per year, making them key players in the recent drama surrounding CEO Sam Altman. The figures show that OpenAI is willing to pay top dollar to attract and retain talent in the competitive field of AI. Shifting to the investment world, investors looking to capitalize on the growth of AI should consider investing in companies that are already applying AI profitably. Microsoft, Nvidia, Intel, and Accenture are among the companies identified as attractive dividend-paying stocks that are capitalizing on AI. These companies have solid business bases and are well-positioned to benefit from the continued advancement of AI technology. Next, let's talk about the fight for the soul of AI. The recent events at OpenAI raise questions about the organization's unique combination of a nonprofit board overseeing a for-profit company. The article highlights the conflicting views within the AI community about the potential of the technology. OpenAI has sought to maintain a balance between scientific discovery, product development, and safety, but there are concerns about whether this can be sustained as the company grows. The future of OpenAI and its ability to navigate these tensions remains uncertain. Staying on the topic of OpenAI, the recent governance turmoil at the company highlights the challenges of overseeing the safe development of AI within a for-profit commercial business. The tensions between commercial drive and concerns about collateral damage must be addressed to ensure safe AI development. Moving on, an article in the Sydney Morning Herald reflects on the changing financial circumstances of the author and the impact it has had on her middle-class lifestyle. It highlights the struggle to make ends meet and the fear of falling into the shrinking middle class. This article serves as a reminder that financial stress is not exclusive to lower-income earners and can affect people across different socioeconomic levels. Finally, readers of The Telegraph have expressed their concerns over the UK's immigration figures and the complexity of the tax system. These issues are likely to be key topics in the upcoming general election campaign, as readers question the government's ability to control immigration and call for a simpler tax regime. That's it for today's news analysis. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Now, I'd like to hear from you. What are your thoughts on these news stories? Do you have any questions or comments? Let's start a discussion. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.